Imagine an airplane pilot who doesn't even know how to fly, or a doctor who knows nothing about medicine. You'd think those people would shortly go out of business. Then tell me, why is it that there are so many discernment blogs in evangelical Christianity that don't know the first thing about discernment, and yet they flourish? No kidding. You can check out the blogs on the internet. These are sites that claim, we're all about discernment. We're the discernment kings. And then you read some of the articles and you go, that is so not biblical. Every other realm, people who don't know what they're doing go out of business. But in Christianity, people who do not know how to do the basics of biblical discernment seem to flourish. That is why I wrote, did I mention I wrote a new book called Judge Not? Chapter 3 is about what? Circular firing squads. That's what I see with discernment blogs. It does not matter what you believe on any given day. If you line up perfectly Monday through Saturday with that discernment blog, but on Sunday you disagree, they will just shoot you up. It is merely a matter of time. If you step on the toes, you somehow fall outside of the lines that discernment blogs have drawn, they will come after you with a vengeance. And I have seen discernment blogs that once were pals, simpatico, doing conferences together. Now they're at each other's throats. Why is this? Well, I would suggest to you it is because very few discernment ministries and, well, frankly, very few Christians study the subject of biblical discernment. We have seen in chapters 1 and 2 of Judge Not that very few people are willing to judge because that's kind of taboo. Even fewer people are willing to name names. And we have tried to encourage you to consider that you should be doing those things biblically. But that doesn't mean once you realize, hey, I should be judging, I can be naming names, that you too can just start shooting at everybody. There are rules to this business we call discernment, and in Judge Not, Chapter 3, I set forth some of those rules. Here is discernment rule number 1. Our starting place should not be that everybody is a heretic, except me, of course. Our starting position should be one of love. It hopes all things. My hope should not be that somebody is intentionally misleading people. My hope should be that I am either confused or I have misunderstood a fellow believer. That is our starting place. That is our orientation. I am hoping the best. I am believing the best. I am putting the best construction on everything. That means if I'm listening to my faithful preacher and one day he says something that makes me go, that was a little bit wonky, what do? I give him the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because I'm trusting all things. I'm hoping all things. I want pastors to be good shepherds. I don't want them to be false teachers. I'm cheering for them. I want the best. And that's my starting place. Discernment rule number 2. We should always judge with a humble attitude, acknowledging that any correct understanding we have of the Bible, it's a gift from God. If everything we know about God has been revealed to us by God, how can we possibly be snooty toward our fellow saints? You and... Who left this coffee cup here? Seriously.
I made that for you.
That was your cue? Okay, hold on. It's his first... Look, this is his first day. Hold on. I know it's your first day, so you know what I'm going to do?
Okay.
I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You know, because I was paying attention to point number 1. That's what I was hoping all things. So let's try. Take 2. So you don't want to have a snooty attitude because God has revealed, hey, what's this cup of coffee doing here?
I made that for you.
You made it for me. Well, that is so kind of you. Hey, Adrian, I've got a cup of coffee and you don't need her. I'm better than you. You'd go, you're a buffoon. You were given that cup of coffee. How can you act like you're superior just because somebody who is decaffeinated doesn't have any coffee? And I would agree with you. And the same rule applies to us. Anything you and I know biblically or theologically, it has been revealed to us, taught to us by the Holy Spirit. So if I see somebody who doesn't know as much or they're a little bit off on something, the last thing that I want to do is jump all over them with an arrogant, snooty attitude. That's rule number 2. This is rule number 3. We are to judge the teachings of other Christians, 1 Peter 4:17. But that does not mean we have to reprimand every word carelessly uttered by a fellow believer. We never turn off our Berean discernment filters. Anytime another Christian speaks of spiritual things, we're judging. We're making sure they're right. But that doesn't mean we need to chirp up for each and every perceived inaccurate statement. Are you kind of getting the drift here? That discernment isn't about having ourselves loaded pistols with our finger on the trigger just ready to blast at people. No, we should actually have the bullets on the shelf. When it comes to discernment, we're always discern all things. Spiritually judge everything. That means the TV you watch. It means me. It means any entertainment. You're watching the weather. They sneak in a worldview. Whatever. You want to be discerning everything because, well, everything has a worldview. But when it comes to Christians, fellow believers, especially that you know are orthodox, we are discerning, making sure that they're right. But it's not like this. Okay, come on, man. Just say something. Just use that word again this week. And I'm just going to all over. That is not the posture of the Christian.